Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me a diamond in the rough. His name is Joshua Mack. He's a running back out of Liberty, Mr. J Mack himself. So nice to have you on, buddy.
How you doing? Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, we get a guy here. Obviously spent some time there at Maine, and then eventually, transferred out there to Liberty. So, why don't you kind of walk us through that journey a little bit? I mean, tell me maybe where you're from and how you got there to Liberty.
Okay, so I'm from upstate New York, city called Rochester. It's in between Buffalo and Syracuse. I ended up graduating from Pittsburgh Southern High School, and upon graduation, there was this coach named Jeff Ambrosi. He's a O-line coach or offensive coordinator, one of the two, at Central Connecticut now. But he recruited me to come play at Maine. I was at Maine for 2 years. I was actually up there with one of my good friends, Ernest. That was one of the reasons why I went up there. So I was there for 2 years. Second year, I ended up getting some accolades and some awards, and I kind of wanted to test myself at the next level. FCS was challenging, it was fun, but I always dreamed of playing at that higher level FBS. So with that being said, I talked to my family. I ended up transferring, but at the time, this when they just put the new rule of the early transfer, or not early, or early decision. So when I came out of high school, we weren't able to sign in December. Me coming out to transfer, it was a new rule, so I didn't know anything. So long story short, I ended up walking on to Liberty. I didn't even have a scholarship. Left everything at Maine, bet on myself, walked on at Liberty. It was rest is history. It was nice at Liberty though. I enjoyed it. It was a football environment. Definitely was a football environment.
So you shared a little bit about your time there at Maine. I mean, just to kind of reiterate, you're we're talking to a guy who was a Walter Payton Award finalist there in the FCS. I mean, really having a phenomenal year in 2017, and an All-American, and again, like you said, I mean, kind of wanted to test the waters a little bit. You come up. Come down, I guess, from that area to play for Liberty. And what what sort of difference, I guess, in those two programs, like, and maybe how like they function overall, like, can you just kind of describe that a little bit? I mean, obviously, a lot of people, like, first of all, like, let's just kind of backtrack in the CAA. Like, a lot of people don't really understand like what kind of talent is there. I mean, obviously some great talent there, and then obviously moving up a notch to Liberty. Can you just kind of explain that a little bit, like, like the two differences in the programs?
First and foremost, I'm gonna say the differences between like the FCS and FBS, in my opinion, is the trenches, O line, D line, defensive line play. But as a team, Maine and Liberty, I would say Maine was just that up north style of play. That gritty, smash mouth football. We're gonna bring it to you. Liberty, it was more of a not saying Maine wasn't togetherness, but it was more of a togetherness, like I would say it was more like a Patriot system, if that makes sense. How Coach Freeze coaches, like, he wants to get everybody involved, no matter your skill set. We just as good as our weakest opponent. So I think that would be the main difference. Maine, it was the best guys going to play. It was up north football. Liberty is more so a system. And it's you weren't really thinking about yourself. It's more so the team.
Gotcha. So, I mean, obviously a fairly well balanced team there at Liberty. Let's just kind of talk about that program. I mean, I think that really the name that a lot of people know, obviously, is y'all's quarterback. I mean, he's projected to go in the first round in this year's draft. Tell me a little bit about that guy, if you don't mind. And we're talking Malik Willis.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. It's actually funny because when we was not during season, but back when I was going to Liberty, we would have like Call of Duty tournaments, have group chats. So that was definitely my locker buddy next to me. So I definitely spent a lot of time with him. Actually when we first got there transferring, we hung out, came to my crib and everything. So he's a cool dude. He's definitely humble. He knows he knows what he brings to the table. He knows he does the little things well. I've seen a little TikTok of him helping out a guy on the street or something. I wasn't really sure the scenery. I just seen it on TikTok, but it's like that's something that's part of him. He does that. It's not something that he's uh, going overboard or trying to do. He's that type of guy. Cool guy to be around.
And real quick, bud, I mean, a lot of great talent there at Liberty. Who's there remaining that we can expect a lot from, like in this upcoming season?
My dog Dro, say Dro, number one running back. This is my guy. I think he's like he reminds me of Frank Gore because of stature. He's short, but he's cut up, Aki, but he's fast with it. I'll say Demario, receiver. He's explosive, playmaker for sure. It's crazy because we had a little challenge going on. It's like who toolbox was better, meaning like who could do better moves or who had more moves. Um, and I'll say CJ Daniels. Those three right there is like three offensively that I would say that's gonna they've already been showing the past couple years, but I think they're gonna really take off this year. And defensively, I say my dog Javon Scruggs. It's crazy that he came back for his final year. I thought he was gonna come out this draft, but for him to go back and be able to get a four-peat, I don't think there was, including high school, I don't think there was a year he played where he didn't win. And that says a lot to have a safety and a captain like that on your team. So I think those four names right there.
Great. So let's now steer back to you because I mean, obviously, I'm sitting here interviewing, J Mack, running back from Liberty. I kind of want to talk about maybe you and your skill set. So, what do you feel is like the best part of your game and what separates you as a prospect?
I say my vision. I mean, the goggles say it all. But I definitely say my vision and my ability to catch the ball.
Gotcha. So I mean, if you were to say that you model your game after somebody at the next level, like who is the one guy in the NFL that we can just kind of, I don't know if you want to compare yourself to, maybe somebody you aspire to be.
That's a good question you asked me that because I always try to compare myself, but it's kind of hard because I would say my run style is like an unorthodox runner. So I would say I could probably gear my game most off of Le'Veon just because of the patience and the suddenness of how we
Hmm.
both attack the line of scrimmage. But and as far as like how I catch the ball, I would say Alvin Kamara. But overall, I would say I have an unorthodox run game that really can't be compared to no one in the NFL.
So you a north south guy, you a east west guy. I mean, how can you describe that? Like maybe like what you're most comfortable doing.
Uh, that's a tough question, honestly. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a north, south, or east, west type of guy. I'm trying to score if without trying to be, as humble as possible. I'm trying to score type of guy.
I appreciate that answer because I mean, obviously, that's all that matters. Um, Jay, I mean, obviously, had a really good career there at Liberty and also with Maine. And then after this season, you take a journey out to Fort Worth, Texas, at the CGS. So let's talk about that just briefly. Can you maybe share some story about your time there?
Um, Definitely, it was definitely a new experience. I appreciate the CGS staff. One guy I remember off the top of my head, I think Mike Riddleman, him and his staff, and Jose Jeffers. I just want to thank them for allowing me to even select me to be out there. They could pick anybody, and they picked me, so I just want to appreciate them for that. But I just got a lot. I got to learn a lot about the stuff about the NFL that I didn't know. If I could take away from being over there, being over there for those 2 days is um the NFL side of it. we had a guy coming in talking to us about how to manage our money, financial literacy. Showing us a graph of how, like, okay, you might get these 2 years, but you got to plan for this because you never know. So just the business side of it, everybody knows that's playing the game, know how to wake up and play football and put on cleats, but it's the off the field side that you have to worry about. So just learning about that and gaining more knowledge on that was something I could take away.
Nice. I mean, I think a lot of people really don't even understand like how much that you really need to know with regards to that. So, also, I don't know if you had a chance to actually sit down and actually speak to some NFL scouts and do some interviews. So, is there anything there that you could share?
Unfortunately, I didn't. I was hoping for it, but I didn't get the opportunity to.
Yeah, no, you kind of had a mishap there with your equipment, and obviously, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation, but I mean, hopefully, as things progress into your pro day, I mean, you'll be able to, get that opportunity, at that time. Jay, I was gonna ask you. I mean, obviously, with everything that you've done in your career, what would you say is perhaps like the most memorable moment or highlight of your career? Like maybe there at Liberty or Maine, is there a game? Is there a play that kind of sticks out in your mind?
Okay, I'm gonna say two things. First and foremost, I can't say a moment. I'll say just the whole 2017 season alone was probably the most memorable for me because, like, as a kid, you dream of whatever sport you're playing, you dream of playing at the next level. And then for me to do that, and not only do that, but like you say, become a world tour Peyton Award finalist, All American. It felt a dream coming true. So just that whole season alone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that season really helped you out, put you on the map and all that other stuff. So,
I would probably say the game I remember the most is when I was at Liberty. We played Maine my first season able to play, and that was probably the most funnest games I've been in. Just because for the past 2 years I was playing them practice spring ball, and it wasn't like a full go. For me to play my dogs that I got to school with as a freshman full go and to see them competing and want to get after it, just that was memorable for me.
yeah, I mean, definitely playing against your old team there's got to be fun and strange in its own way. I mean, obviously still had a little bit of love for some of the guys there, coaches and players. So I mean, I know it's a little weird, obviously playing against those guys, but it kind of brought some sort of closure to some degree. So nice that you had the opportunity to actually play your old team. So not everybody gets a chance to say that they've done that. So um, so a guy that has had success in football, you also played a little bit of basketball and track back in your high school days. How do you feel like that has helped you as a football player?
I think basketball helped me the most, 100%. I said 1,000%. The moves I do on the football field, in my eyes and in my mind, they're not necessarily football moves. I'm translating moves I would do on a basketball court to a football field. You know, uh, like my go-to move is the 1-2. I think of that as a Euro step, but everyone else calls it a. You know what I'm saying? So I think, or my explosiveness of how I can get up and dunk, or just my abilities that I use on the court. I feel like they translate on the field 100%.
Gotcha. So you said that you could throw down a couple dunks there on the court, right?
Oh yeah, I can one step throw it down with two easily. Easy.
So I'm assuming like that might correlate to a decent vertical. Like, do you know where you're at with that?
Not right now, no. We definitely working though. Me and my guy Roger over at Defy Genetics, we definitely working. So
Nice. I do want to get a chance to meet this guy, Mr. Mack Attack himself, Mr. J Mack, outside of sports. So, if you don't mind, just kind of share a little something about yourself that you want to share with people. Anything interesting, fun, hobbies, interests, or whatever. So, give us a little something.
believe it or not, I went to school for fashion design. I'm an art guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an art guy. I like to draw. I learned how to sew, put buttons on, zippers. I like anything art. You know, that's why I'm outside. You know, I enjoy basically because art for me is no right or wrong. You know, being in school for as a kid up until college. You know, there's math, science, English. You know, you're gonna take exams and tests where it's telling you, oh, this is the right answer, it's the wrong answer. Art, it's you can't. You know, it's based off of how you feel. So I feel like that's why I've always been drawn to art. Even my teammates could tell you at Liberty, I would draw on my practice cleats. You know, just anything to make myself, it's not necessarily putting attention on myself. It's just me exploiting my art artwork, and my that's how I express my feelings through my art.
Interesting. So would you say that you're a creative person? Is that a fair statement?
Yes, one hundred
Okay,
percent,
okay, okay.
one
What
hundred
about
percent.
what about music? You big into music?
Yeah, actually, I played the saxophone growing up. My dad played the trumpet. He still does. So I got into instruments early. I'm trying to get back into the saxophone. You know, it's been a couple of years since I've played, but I'm trying to get back into it.
Gotcha. So, what's your jam these days? Like when you're maybe in the locker room waiting for waiting to go out there and play. Like, is there something maybe kind of jamming in your head that you're listening to?
Uh, that's. I mean, I listen to music so much. There's times I wouldn't even be listening to music. I'm just bobbing my head because I got my own tune. So either that, I'll say 50-50 that, or I can listen to some Little Baby, you know?
Gotcha. It's definitely a common one that I get from guys every now and then. So I feel you there. So um, obviously your goal is to get to the NFL. If you were in the position, where you get that big check from the NFL, have you ever thought about perhaps what you might do with that? Meaning like maybe a charity or cause that you would maybe put forth your efforts into. So have you thought about that?
Yeah, that's crazy because I mean, everyone feels like they're gonna make it to the next level. You know, it's about how bad you want it, your drive. You know, I've been thinking about this since I was 6 to be playing the next level with, and with that, thinking about the things I would want to do. And my biggest things, I just like LeBron. He inspired me to want to open up a school here in my city back home. Being from New York, we're not known for football. You know, we're known to play basketball. So I want to open up a facility in a school where we're able to exploit our talents football wise up there. You know, we got places like Miami, Atlanta, and California where they got numerous opportunities to display their talent. So I want to open up a place where the younger kids growing up where I grew up can have that, because I didn't have it. So I want to give back to my community so they have that. That's my biggest thing.
Sure. So again, now we're moving towards your pro day. That's going to be happening here soon. So chat with me about your pro day really quick. When is that going to happen? Where are you training at right now? And what sort of expectations you have for that day?
Pro Day is March 22nd, Liberty University, 9 a.m. it starts. Right now, the defeat DeFi G-Way, training with my guy Roger down in Colonial Heights, which is in Richmond. We're expecting great results. We test at the end of each week, and I've been with Roger for going on. This will be 3.5, 4 weeks now, and I've seen results from him after week 1. So I'm liking the training he's putting me through. I'm liking what's going.
Nice. And very last question I have for you because we need to wrap up. I do want you to get a chance to give your pitch to all those NFL scouts out there. So tell them why they need to sign you, draft you, that sort of thing, bring you in, and what kind of teammate you'd be for their program.
If they need a guy like me, I'm a workhorse. I might not be the fastest guy, I might not be the strongest guy, I might not be the most skilled guy, but I will be the most hardworking. I never let anyone outwork me. There's this analogy where I was told where there's 2 guys on the treadmill, where you be the guy to finish to get off the treadmill first. And I always keep that in the back of my mind. So you'll get a hard worker that's looking to win and a competitor, and a teammate that's looking to cheer everyone on. I'm the type to want to see everyone do good. I know my abilities and what I can do, so I'm always big on supporting my team as well, because if they see that I'm supporting them, then it's sort of like to want respect, you gotta give respect. So if my teammates see that I'm behind them, then I expect that they will do the same in return for me, or vice versa.
Gotcha. And again, just to kind of reiterate, I mean, really what we're getting here is a decent all-around, running back who could really offer a lot for your game. Whether as a runner, a receiver. I know you've done a little special teams in your day as well. So I mean, you have a lot of facets that I know that can, be used at the next level. So I mean, and the other thing too is what it means to be a part of a winning program. I mean, you know what it takes to be that workhorse, up in Maine, and be the number one guy, and obviously, do whatever it takes in order to get that W. So, because I know that that's the most important thing for you out there on the field. So, Jay, do wish you best of luck as you pursue your dreams. All right.
Appreciate you.
All right. Once again, I got with me Mr. Joshua Mack, running back out of Liberty. Definitely check him out.